What's up, Bulldogs? All right, financial freedom or financial independence, it gets thrown around a lot. You hear the acronym FIRE, financial independence, retire early, but do you actually know what it means? What is the definition of financial independence and how do you actually achieve it? That's what I'm going to talk about in this video. I have what I call my golden definition of financial independence to make this simple so that you can understand clearly what does it actually mean to become financially independent. So I have a very simple definition of this. You are financially free when your passive income exceeds your expenses. Now, don't read more into this than there is. It is this simple. It is not when your passive income exceeds your income that you're making from your job. It is when it exceeds your expenses. So that is the amount of money that it requires you to live. That makes you financially free. Why? Because at that point, you could literally do nothing and you can survive. If you can't do nothing and survive and continue to live and pay all your expenses that you need to, you're not financially free. There's two variables you can control, guys. The first one is your expenses. The second one is your passive income. Now, the first thing that you should be trying to do if you want to become financially free is you should be trying to reduce your expenses as much as possible. Why? Because that is the thing you have more control and leverage over. It's much easier to reduce expenses than it is to generate passive income. Generating passive income is not that easy. It takes time, it takes investments, it takes money to do that. It's not just simple to generate passive income. I'm going to talk about some ways that you can generate passive income, and I have a bunch of different sources of passive income, but I can tell you it's not as simple as it is to cut expenses. So the very first place that you should look is to cut expenses for two reasons. One, if you cut your expenses, it's going to make it so that you can save more money to be able to invest, which is going to accelerate your ability to generate passive income. The second thing is that it's going to make it so you need less money to become financially free, because that's the denominator in the equation. If your expenses are less, you need less passive income, and thus you can get there faster. Now, a lot of people, they don't want to make the sacrifices necessary to do this. If you're not financially free right now, you are a slave. Why? Some people say indentured servant. I don't care what terminology you want to use. The point is, if you're not financially free right now, it means that someone else owns you. It means that society owns you. It means that you have a debt that you have to pay. You have what I say is a mortgage on your life. You're born with a mortgage on your life. That means that every single month, you have to pay a certain amount of money. You have to work in order to pay for food because you have to eat, and shelter because you need a place to live, and other things that are essential for you to live. So that means that you are not free. What you need to do is cut those expenses so that you can become free as soon as possible. That might mean that you have to downsize and live in a smaller place. Maybe you have to actually rent a room or have roommates. That might mean that you have to get rid of your new car and buy an old junker car that you can buy cash. It might mean that you have to do without some things in life that you want, that you stop going to restaurants in order to cut those expenses. Because once you become financially free, what you're going to find is you're going to have time. And time always equals money. You can trade your time for money. Now you're trading your time for money at a job, but it gives you a straight return. Every hour that you trade, you get a certain number of dollars. Once you have all that time back, even if you're living on a very meager amount of money, even if you're financially free and quote broke, you're going to have all that time that you're going to be able to invest into building more passive income streams and to building a business and doing things like that. The next part of the equation is to increase your passive income. In my opinion, the best way to increase your passive income is through real estate. I actually have a system that I have developed. It's called the well that never runs dry. The way that the system works, and the reason why I call it the well that never runs dry, is because it's a continual well of income that you can draw from. It's like drawing from a well. Most people, the way that they structure their lives is this, is they have their job or their business, they're making money. Then they take their expenses out, so they live off of that. And then what's ever left over, they invest. That's the wrong way to do things. There's a couple problems with that. One, it's slow. Two, you are still dependent on the income from the work, from the job, from the business. So you don't know how much you can spend. You can't upgrade your lifestyle because upgrading your lifestyle slows down the amount that you can invest. Instead, what I do is I flip this around. Now it takes time to dig this well, but once you have this well dug, what it looks like is your income from your job, your income from your business, and then you take all that money, 100% of that, and you invest that in real estate, let's say. Okay, so you're digging that well. Now, where do you actually live off of? You live off of the passive income that's generated from that well. So it takes some time to get that started, But once you hit that critical threshold and you can start living off of that passive income, now all the money you make from a job or all the money you make from a business all gets poured into real estate, which digs that well deeper and deeper. So every single month you become more and more wealthy and your living standard goes up. Because even though you might have had to cut your expenses, like I talked about earlier, to the point where you're basically living like a poor person, if you can get there and then become financially free, then you can start building. Then as you start taking that money that you're making and you start investing that and you start digging that well deeper and deeper every single month, you can spend every single dollar of passive income you generate, and that will just go up over time. Now, if you need some help actually doing this and implementing the well that never runs dry, I actually have a program on this. If you want to see if you're a good fit for this, click down below. There's a link to book a 15-minute call. We'll jump on a call. We'll talk about whether or not this is a good fit for you and what is the exact strategy and plan for digging this well that never runs dry. If you want to dig this well, you can do this, and then you can become financially free. But you got to be willing to put in the work and do that. So click the link to book the call. You might as well jump on the call and find out if this is something that you can actually do. All right, now, the next thing I suggest that you watch if you're interested in passive income is this video. I made this video on how I make over $50,000 a month of passive income. Watch that video next.